Hi, this is Palmetto Training, October 3rd, 2023. We're going to talk about the outside inspection of this tractor trailer. First thing we're going to talk about are amber clearance lights. I have 5 amber clearance lights. They are securely mounted, they're clean, they function properly. They serve as clearance lights, none are missing, broken, and there is no damage. And I have my 2 clear headlights. My 2 headlights are securely mounted, they're clean, they function properly, they serve as high and low beam, none are loose, missing, or broken, therefore there is no damage. I have my 2 side marker lights. They are securely mounted, they're clean, they function properly, and none are missing or broken or loose, and they serve as running signal hazard, no damage. Underneath my engine or transmission, I have no leaks or puddles, and there is no damage. Watch your head. This is my coolant tank reservoir. My coolant tank reservoir is securely mounted. It's not leaking. Just check the sight glass. I would look through the sight glass, and it should be between at a full, not leaking, no damage. Back here where you cannot see is my belt-driven water pump. My belt-driven water pump is securely mounted. It's not leaking, and it's not bent and cracked or broken. Not leaking, no damage. This is my belt. My belt is securely mounted. It's not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn. It's evenly worn. To pull on the center of the belt, I should get no more than 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of play, and there's no damage. Underneath my engine or transmission, there is no leaks or puddles, therefore there's no damage. Go on to the driver's side. Back where you cannot see is my gear-driven air compressor. My gear-driven air compressor is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. It does not leak, therefore there's no damage. This is my oil dipstick. My oil dipstick is securely mounted. It's not leaking. To check it, I would pull it out, wipe it off, stick it back in, pull it out, and show you it's between at and full. Would you like me to do this? No? Okay. No damage. Next, these are my general hoses and my couplings. My general hoses are securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. They're not bent and cracked or broken. It does not leak, and there's no damage. These are my couplings. My couplings are tight and secure. They do not leak, no damage. This is my power steering reservoir. It's securely mounted. It does not leak. Look through the sight glass. It should be between at and full. No damage. Under here is my belt-driven alternator. My belt-driven alternator is securely mounted. The belt is securely mounted. It's not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn. It's evenly worn. To pull on the center of the belt, I should get no more than 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of play. Therefore, there is no damage. Okay. My steering linkage, my coupling, my pitman arm, and my drag link. They are all securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. They're not bent and cracked or broken, and not missing any cotter key. Okay? No damage. To pull on the drag link, to show it's tight to the ball and socket. No damage. Okay? This is my power steering gearbox, my hoses, and my couplings. Power steering gearbox. It is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. It does not leak, and there's no damage. My hoses are securely mounted. They're not bent and cracked or broken. They do not leak, no damage. My couplings are tight and secure, not leaking, no damage. This is my leaf spring mount hanger. It is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken, and it has no damage. Back behind this nut is a bushing. My bushing is securely mounted. It's not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn, and it has no damage. These are my leaf springs. My leaf springs are securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. None are missing, loose, or shifted. No damage. These are my U-bolts. My U-bolts are securely mounted around the axle or to the axle. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. They're not bent and cracked or broken. None are loose. If they were, I would see a shiny thread, rust trail, or shiny thread. Therefore, there's no damage. Back here is my shock absorber. My shock absorber is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. It does not leak, and there's no damage. This round cylinder is called a brake chamber. My brake chamber is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. It does not leak. There's not missing any clamps, and it has no damage. This is a coupling. My coupling is tight and secure. It does not leak, and there's no damage. This is the hose to the brake chamber. My brake chamber hose is securely mounted. It's not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn. It does not leak, and there's no damage. This right here is a slack adjuster. My slack adjuster is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners, or cotter key. It's not bent and cracked or broken. To pull on it with the brakes not applied, I'd have to go ahead and pull on it, and I should get no more than 1 inch of play at the push rod. Not leaking, no damage. Inside, I have a brake drum and lining. Brake drum and lining. They're both securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, or fasteners. They're not bent and cracked or broken. The brake drum has no illegal welds or drill holes. The lining is not worn dangerously thin. In between the drum and the lining, there's no oil, grease, or foreign debris. Therefore, there's no damage. This is my steer tire. My steer tire is securely mounted. It's evenly worn. It has no less than 4/30 seconds of tread depth. It's properly inflated. It does not leak. At the side, there's no cuts, rips, or bulges. To check the inflation, I take my tire gauge to the valve stem. My valve stem is securely mounted. It's not bent and cracked or broken. It does not leak. No damage. The cap is tight and secure. It does not leak. And there's no damage. No damage on the valve stem either. This is my aluminum rim. It's aluminum because it does not rust. It is securely mounted. It's not missing nuts, bolts, fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. There's no illegal welds or drill holes. Therefore, there's no damage. These are my lug nuts. My lug nuts are securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, or fasteners. They're not bent and cracked or broken. None are loose or missing. If they were, I would see a shiny thread or a rust trail. Therefore, no damage. Behind the lug nuts are lug nut holes. They are not distorted, and there's no damage. This is a hub oil seal. My hub oil seal is securely mounted. It does not leak. To check the level, if it had a sight glass, it should be between add and full, and there's not leaking. Therefore, there's no damage. This is my mirror and my bracket. My mirror and bracket are both securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. They're not bent and cracked or broken. The bracket has no damage. The glass is clean, adjusted just for me from the inside, and it has no damage. Okay? Alright, so this is my door and my door hinges. Okay? They are both securely mounted. They're missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. They're not bent and cracked or broken. And it has no damage. We come down to our amber side marker light. I have 2 of them. They are securely mounted. They're clean. They function properly. None are loose, broken, or missing. They serve as running, signal, and hazard. None are loose, missing, or broken, and then there's no damage. These are my tractor steps. My tractor steps are securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. They're not bent, or cracked, or broken. There's no oil, grease, or any kind of foreign debris. No damage. Here's my fuel tank, my cap, my hoses, and my couplings. Fuel tank is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. It does not leak, and there's no damage. The cap is tight and secure, not leaking, no damage. My coupling is tight and secure, not leaking, no damage. The hose is securely mounted. It's not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn. Does not leak, and no damage. Side storage compartment. That's where keep those three reflective triangles. No damage. These are my air lines. Reds for emergency, blues for service. They are both securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. They're not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn. They do not leak. No damage. These are my couplings. Couplings are tight and secure. Not leaking. No damage. These are my glad hands. My glad hands are securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. They're not bent and cracked or broken. They're in the locked or latch position. Not leaking. No damage. This is my green electrical line. Green electrical line is securely mounted. It's not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn, chafed, or spliced. The pigtails are in the lock position, and it has no damage. Okay, this is my catwalk steps. They are both securely mounted to the frame. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. They're not bent, or cracked, or broken. There's no oil, grease, or any kind of foreign debris. Therefore, there's no damage. This is my tractor frame and my cross member frame. They are both securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. They're not bent, or cracked, or broken. There's no illegal welds or drill holes. Therefore, there's no damage. Back here is my fifth wheel slide mechanism, my hose, and my couplings. My fifth wheel slide mechanism is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. Not bent, cracked, or broken. It does not leak, and there's no damage. The hose is not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn. Does not leak, no damage. The couplings are tight and secure, not leaking, no damage. This is my trailer apron. My trailer apron is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. It sits on the skid plate with no gap. Therefore, there's no damage. Okay? So, this is my skid plate. My skid plate is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. It's properly greased, and there's no damage. Okay. This is my fifth wheel release handle. Underneath the skid plate is the safety latch. They are both securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. They're not bent and cracked or broken, or cotter key. Not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners, or cotter key. It's not bent and cracked or broken. It's in the lock position, and there's no damage. Okay. Up here at the front corner of the trailer, I have two front amber side marker lights, which are securely mounted. They're clean. They function properly. None are loose, broken, or missing. They serve as running, and there is no damage. Okay. This is my tractor frame. My tractor frame is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. There's no illegal welds or drill holes, and there's no damage. This is my DOT tape. It's securely mounted. It's clean and clear, and there is no damage. I have two yellow nylon straps. They are both securely mounted. They're not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn. It's in the lock position, and there's no damage. Okay, so we come down here to my pivot pin, my cotter key, my platform, and my mount. They are all securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners, or cotter key. They're all not bent and cracked or broken, and there's no damage. The platform supports the skid plate with no damage. Okay, this is my vertical and horizontal bolts. Okay, they're securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. They're not bent and cracked or broken. If they were loose, I would see a shiny thread or a rust trail. Up here is my trailer floor. My trailer floor is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. There's no rips, cuts, or bulges, and therefore it will support my cargo. These are trailer cross member frames. They are securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. They're not bent and cracked or broken. There's no illegal welds or drill holes, and therefore there's no damage. Right here I have my leaf spring mount hanger. Leaf spring mount hanger is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken, and therefore there's no damage. This round thing is a bushing. My bushing is securely mounted. It's not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn, and there's no damage. This round cylinder right here is a brake chamber. My brake chamber is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. It does not leak. It's not missing any clamps, and there's no damage. That right there is a bushing. It's a coupling. My coupling is tight and secure. It does not leak, no damage. The hose is securely mounted. It's not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn. Does not leak, no damage. These are my leaf springs. My leaf springs are securely mounted. Not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. None are loose, missing, or shifted, and there's no damage. Okay, so I got my U-bolts. My U-bolts here are securely mounted to the axle or around the axle. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. They're not bent and cracked or broken. And none are missing or loose. If they were, I would see a shiny thread, a rust trail. Therefore, there's no damage. Back here is my shock absorber. My shock absorber is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. It does not leak, no damage. Back behind the brake chamber is a slack adjuster. My slack adjuster is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners, or cotter key. It's not bent and cracked or broken. With the brakes not applied, I should be able to pull on the push rod no more than 1 inch away, and there's no damage. This is my brake drum and my brake lining. My brake drum is securely mounted. Brake drum and lining, they're both securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. On the drum, there's no illegal welds or drill holes. The lining is not worn dangerously thin. Between the lining and drum, I should get no oil, grease, or any kind of foreign debris. Therefore, there is no damage. Okay, this is my top and my bottom airbag mount. Okay, my top and bottom airbag mount are both securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken, no damage. This is my airbag. My airbag is securely mounted. It's not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn. It does not leak, no damage. This is my mud flap bracket, my mud flap, and my DOT tape. They are securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. Mud flap's not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn. DOT tape is clean and clear, and they all have no damage. Back there is my kingpin and locking jaw. They are both securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. They're not bent and cracked or broken. The locking jaw is fully enclosed around the kingpin with no damage. This is my crossover torsion bar. Securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken, and there's no damage. Okay. Back here, I have two rib reflectors. So these are my lights and my reflectors. They are all securely mounted. They're all clean. They all function properly. None are loose, broken, or missing. And they serve as, okay, the two red lights serve as running, signal, hazard, and brake. The white light serves as reverse. The two red reflectors serves as reflect light. And there's no damage. Okay. This is my trailer leg, my shoe, and my handle. They are all securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. They're not bent and cracked or broken. The shoe is fully raised and the handle's in the lock position. Therefore, there is no damage. Okay, so we go on to the drive tires and bub wheels. My bub wheels are securely mounted. They're evenly spaced. There's no excessive rust, no foreign debris, no damage. My drive tires are securely mounted. They're evenly worn. It's no less than 2/30 seconds of tread depth. It's properly inflated and it does not leak. Side of the tire, there's no cuts, rips, or bulges, and it has no damage. Check that inflation. Go to the valve stem. My valve stem is securely mounted. It's not bent and cracked or broken. It does not leak. No damage. The cap is tight and secure, not leaking, no damage. This is my aluminum rim because the aluminum doesn't rust. Securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. There's no legal welds or drill holes. Therefore, there's no damage. These are my lug nuts and lug nut holes behind it. My lug nuts are securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. They're not bent and cracked or broken. If any were loose, I'd see a shiny thread or a rust drill. No damage. Lug nut holes are not distorted. No damage. This is my hub oil seal. My hub oil seal is securely mounted. It does not leak. And if it had a sight glass, I would read between add and full. Not leaking, no damage. Okay, I got two amber side marker lights, one over here, one on the other side. They are securely mounted. They're clean. They function properly. None are loose, broken, or missing. They serve as running, signal, hazard. No damage. Okay. Underneath here, I have a top and bottom airbag mount. My top and bottom airbag mount are securely mounted. They're not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. No damage. Airbag. Airbag is securely mounted. It's not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn. It does not leak. Therefore, there's no damage. I got a shock absorber. It is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. It does not leak. And there's no damage. This is a brake chamber. My brake chamber is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken. Not missing any clamps. Not leaking, no damage. Couplings are tight and secure. Does not leak, no damage. My hoses. My hoses are securely mounted. They're not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn. They do not leak. Therefore, there's no damage. Right back here is a slack adjuster. My slack adjuster is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners, or cotter key. It's not bent and cracked or broken. It does not leak. To pull on the push rod with the brakes not applied, I will pull on the push rod no more than 1 inch to play, and there's no damage. Back here is the brake drum and lining. They are both securely mounted. Not missing any nuts, bolts, or fasteners. They're not bent and cracked or broken. There's no illegal welds or drill holes on the drum. The lining is not worn dangerously thin. No oil, grease, or any kind of foreign debris between the drum and lining. Therefore, there's no damage. This right here is a bushing. My bushing is securely mounted. It's not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn. No damage. This whole box right here is a torque rod hanger. Torque rod hanger is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken, and there's no damage. Back here, this rod back here is a torque rod. My torque rod is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken, and there's no damage. This is my tandem release button and my locking pin. They are both securely mounted. Not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent and cracked or broken, and there's no damage. Okay, I have to run up front real quick because I forgot something. When you forget something, you come back up front. When I was talking about the fifth wheel slide mechanism, I forgot to tell you that it's in the lock position because it won't interfere with the landing gears during turns.
Okay.
No damage.
That is a student.
Alright, this is my butt wheels. My butt wheels are securely mounted. They're evenly spaced. There's no excessive rust, no foreign debris, no damage. These are tandem tires. We're going to talk about the front axle. It is securely mounted. It's evenly worn. It's no less than 2/32 of tread depth. It's properly inflated. It does not leak. Inside of the tire, there's no cuts, warps, or bulges. Check the inflation, and it has no damage. Check the inflation. I go to the valve stem. My valve stem is securely mounted. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. Not leaking. No damage. Cap, tight and secure. Not leaking. No damage. This is my aluminum rim. Why? Aluminum doesn't rust. Okay? Aluminum rim is securely mounted. It's not missing any nuts, bolts, and fasteners. It's not bent, bent, cracked, or broken. There's no illegal welds or drill holes. Therefore, there's no damage. Okay? These are my lug nuts. My lug nuts are securely mounted. Not missing any nuts, bolts, fasteners. They're not bent, cracked, or broken. If they were loose, I see a shiny thread or a rust trail. No damage. Lug nut holes are not distorted. No damage. My hub oil seal is securely mounted. It does not leak. If it had a sight glass, I would look between. It should be between the add and full. Not leaking, no damage. Okay? This right here is my mud flap bracket, my mud flap, and my DOT tape. They are all securely mounted. They're not missing the nuts, bolts, or fasteners. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. Mud flap's not cut, cracked, frayed, or worn. DOT tape is clean and clear and red, and it all has no damage. This is my amber ABS light. It is securely mounted. It's clean. It functions properly. It's not missing or broken. It's not on, which means that my ABS system is functioning properly and there's no damage. I have one red light over here, one over there. They are both securely mounted. They're clean. They function properly. None are loose, broken, or missing. They serve as running, and therefore there is no damage. Back here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red tail lights. They're all securely mounted. They're clean. They function properly. None are loose, broken, or missing. They serve as running, signal, hazard, and brake. And there's no damage. One more thing. I think I mentioned it, but just to cover it. My locking pin is in a lock position and there's no damage. Take thank you very much for watching. This concludes my cap inspection.